Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming into another video. Figured I'd do a therapy session. I have no idea what I'm going to say, why, what, I don't know. Just wanted to address everybody as I always do. I don't think it's past 11:30 tonight. What is it, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. And yeah, I feel a lot better. Obviously, the last couple therapy sessions that I was talking about in regards to myself were just me kind of having struggles with various things that I had going on that was sending me into like a little spiral depression. I had like 8 things happening at once, all of which came to just make me really stressed. And I had my friend who I'd been relying upon for good morning energy and a whole lot of other energy had kind of taken some steps away to do some things that she wanted to do for herself, and I just didn't take it well this go round. So I'd been telling you guys about how my little bout with sadness, I guess you could say, or depression, was kind of giving me the blues for a bit. But I think yesterday and today I was able to kind of find my energy in a much more positive light. Get back into making playlists. Made 2 pretty solid K-list playlists yesterday and today, so it kind of got me back feeling like myself. Of course, I've been doing Laker videos throughout. I never not do the Laker videos. You would never know what I'm going through with my Laker videos, because honestly, I got like 2 separate minds for the world and for the Lakers. But that's just the creative in me, man. Yeah, my circumstances are still the same. I did get some information on Cover California, so hopefully I can start my health process and find out everything I can do about, getting up to date there. So I haven't sat down and taken the time to fill out the application or get online and do all these things that need to be done. So that's a priority that I need to address. But just like everything else that requires me to do real sitting down and applying, I usually find a way to put it off, to pile it in the stressful category and just don't do it. But that needs to be done. My workouts have been stronger. I think my body has settled in pretty good to the diet. I've been doing a lot of canned vegetables and rice again, and so I finally found something, man. That good old fashioned canned everything, string beans, green beans, all kinds of stuff like that. Just giving myself real hot meals, lots of hot veggies and stuff like that, corn. All kinds of stuff that I used to eat all the time as a little kid, and TV dinners would have little stuff like that in it, and, but as a grown man, I just don't cook this stuff. But now that I'm forced to, I've learned that I don't hate it. All of that food that goes in a can, all this canned food, I can live off that stuff, and I had no idea that my mind would allow me to do that. But my body's reacted pretty well to it too. In fact, I've had better digestive circumstances than I had been. So I'd say, the canned vegetables and all of that seems to be an agreeable meal for me. So I'm okay with it, I guess. But yeah, talked to my little buddy there. She's back around and kind of settling down. I don't know who knows, but I think it's one of those situations where you could kind of see that she still wants to communicate. So that's a very good thing. I didn't scare her away with my manic stuff, but she knows enough about my mind to not be surprised by my behavior, just like I know enough about her mind to know that she go disappear. And it's almost like we're polar opposites in that way. I'm a overexpresser and she doesn't express very much at all, and I guess it just balances itself out. I don't know, but for myself, I've learned that a lot of things, of course, I discussed them already on this channel, and the type of friendship and love I want to have for my friends going forward, and the type of I probably did discuss it, but I think I made some mistakes in the past with some of my female friends and allowing feelings to get caught up in the friendship at some point, and then that friendship kind of taking a turn in a different direction. And so because I've been in those circumstances in the past, I know better than to toy with that if you really value the friendship. And so that's the kind of thing that just needs to be understood when you talk to people and you start crossing certain lines, and then you realize that those feelings haven't been defined or those circumstances haven't been talked about, so you don't really know where you stand. And so that's kind of how that was. She's a younger woman, so she might not necessarily know not to toy with that kind of stuff, but I know better, and so I should have led us in a different direction. So it is what it is, man. I'm not upset about anything. I've been praying different types of prayers as of late in regards to this, and I think they just helped me mature a little bit. The whole circumstance just helped me understand where I'm at versus where I want to be. It pertains to being dependent on other people's energy and just having them try to, I guess, string along to what it is I got going on with my mental state and how I'm living. So all of this is going to come to a head one way or another, as we know, but it's just about me still kind of being in a space where I'm not where I need to be mentally. So if I'm asking people to kind of be in my life to whatever degree, I'm not being as unselfish with them as I should be. And I think that's one of the things that I was thinking about. It's like, not to say that everybody who's got what I got going on shouldn't be with nobody, but it's just about incorporating new people into your life. If you got stress indicators and you have responsibilities that you don't meet because of those stresses, you probably shouldn't be asking people to be all in your world. You know what I mean? Especially when you have a responsibility to play a role in their life that requires you to have some things in order. So that's what it is. It's just, I'm old enough to know that a man got to have his life in order. You know what I mean? If he really wants to be able to walk around this world at this on this level. Now, if you're rich and wealthy and different things like that, that's a different story. But if you're just down here with us, you got to have certain things in order if you want to have a happy home and a happy lifestyle, or have a happy dating life, or what have you. So that's what I understand. It's just you can't get it done in this level without what you need. So given the fact that I don't have what I need, I can't get it done. And so that's just how I equate it. It gets frustrating, but I've made choices to kind of stay away from certain things that would otherwise put me in a position to have what I need. So you got to live without. If you didn't do what it takes to get what you need, don't be mad that you don't have what you need. Go get it. That's what I've been told. So if my mind ain't gonna allow me to go get it, then I can't do nothing but accept that I don't have it, and let everything that needs to have it go. That's just how it has to be. So I'm continuing to be confident in myself. I know that my talent can gain me what I need. I believe that, but it just is what it is. I'm continuing to work, and we'll see what happens with that. But as far as me trying to date and all of that stuff, I just don't see myself in a space where that is even realistic to me. But it is what it is. It doesn't mean that I'm not a human being. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I can't find myself in a situation where I can get close to somebody, especially somebody that I've known before I went into this space. And so that's really what it was. I feel confident though that we can still be friends after this. You know what I mean? I'm confident I know her a little better now, where she can certain answers that I needed based on behavior. I think I got some answers, kind of helped me understand some things that my mind was allowing to try to fill in those blanks. So stuff like that is just like, you know what? At the end of the day, just like I told you guys at the beginning of this whole process when I started talking about this, I just think this was a spiritual attack, and or at the same time a series of tests for me to pass in regards to this situation. And if you follow my therapy sessions and you follow some of my interactions with this person, it's always like that. It's always some type of test. It's always something I have to jump around and try to understand something that I don't understand. And so that's kind of a running theme. And it is what it is. So, I think the goal is to try to find that balance between communication. If you're going to have a communication issue, it's going to be hard to even find any balance. It's going to be hard to have any foundation of any kind, whether it be romantic, friendship, or just casual business. Certain things have to be communicated in order for people to know where they stand, and thus be able to, as I like to say, be balanced in whatever it is y'all doing. So I think we both agree to that. One of the things that my friend said is she wanted to be more expressive. So I'm open-minded to seeing that she reached that goal in whatever way that looks. I'll see some more information coming my way. I guess that's how I would look at it. But I think for me, I just want to extend her the same respect she's given me, and that's what it is. And a lot of times when someone doesn't give you a whole lot, that will come off as if that's a slight. But I think for myself, I'm a bit more open-minded to say that there's a lot that a person can give you by giving you a little when you need a little. I didn't need a whole lot, and she gave me what I needed a lot. And it became a situation where I know that I was also giving her something, and maybe that was something that she could use or needed as well. But for me, what I was getting from her was acceptance. You know, she wasn't asking me questions about what I was doing. She wasn't holding me accountable for who I'm liking on IG or whatever. She's not asking me to give her more time or get all in my house, try to see what's in the kitchen. Like, not to say that I would be against all those things, but the point is, there are certain things that are just not being done. So if I'm going to extend anything in that way, I'm doing too much, something that may be unwanted, something that hasn't been asked about, and most importantly, something that hasn't been demanded of me. So if there's any unwanted energy that I can fathom that would otherwise come my way by her, I have to be thankful as to say, ain't none of that coming my way. None of the nagging, none of that where you at, none of that I need more from you, none of that anything. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's like, all right, now I'm the male in the situation. And even though we have different ways of looking at these things to these days, at the end of the day, it's my role to kind of not let my emotions tell the story. It's my role to kind of lead the situation and allow for a bit more structure and a bit more guidance. That's a man's role in these cases, I believe. So if I'm not ready to provide that, or if I'm not in a space where I'm ready to initiate those conversations, then obviously I'm not ready to step up to the plate in the way that I need to. So it's just a lot of things that come into play as I look at this situation. I say, I've learned that I was selfish. I learned that I wanted to extend to her some things that I don't think would have made for better interactions with us. It's like when you get so caught up in your own feelings, you get caught up in whatever it is you think, you get caught up in whatever it is that you got going on in your ego, that you forget that you could take that energy and ruin somebody's day with it. Like, literally, while your day is ruined, while you're sitting there feeling whatever you're feeling, they're having a fine day or whatever they're feeling, and you bring that energy to them, and they got to do something with it. And so, however slight that energy was, because I was so very intent on battling myself in regards to what it was I was sharing with her, as it pertains to my wrestling with my mind in regards to her as the subject, I did find myself, communicating with her a bit more than I normally would, with that in mind, and that was not, that's not something that I really think was best altogether. So for me, it was like in prayer, it was like, yo, that's going against my own advice, so to speak, in regards to how to handle these situations. You got to let people go. If they're not giving you what you're giving them, walk away. If they, if for some reason you don't feel like you're getting the energy, or you're not feeling appreciated, if you feel like you're being discarded of or what have you, then in those cases, you're probably not supposed to be giving them no more than you have. I think that's just ultimately what it is. And what I understand about my friend here is that it may appear she's not giving me a lot because she doesn't really express as much as maybe a lot of people that I've known. So it's about the threshold of what it is you're used to. If somebody's really, really quiet and they don't say but 5 words to you, that's who they are. But if everybody who's ever known has always spoken 176 words, you're going to think that this person is secretive, this, and this, when they're actually giving you all they have. And so as I apply the wisdom of different things that I've learned in my life, I also have to apply the wisdom to say, this could just be as simple as somebody doesn't really know what to say, so they don't say very much. Or this person don't, you know what I mean? They just got a lifestyle that allows them to have other things going on than considering you. So for me, it's like, all right, I'm the center of my own universe. I'm the most selfish person. I am in my own place, and everything in this place is about me, surrounds me, and all this. So I get to be as selfish as any human being in the world. But the problem is, just because I'm the center of my own universe does not necessarily mean that I'm even a star in someone else's. So I had to humble myself as to remind myself of that, and then to proceed to understand, to fully surmise that I'm stationary in one space. My buddy there is wherever she's at and doing whatever she does, and she's a busy person. She likes to move around a little bit. She likes to travel. She likes to be where it's at. So it's like, as I told her today, I'm like, when you care about somebody who's a free bird, the last thing you have to do is go grab a cage. You know what I mean? If you truly appreciate them, the last thing you need to be doing is grabbing a cage to put them in. Like, that's not what I want to do. That's culture of the ego. That's possessiveness of insecurity. Those are demons I need to let go of. Those are not friendships. Those are not traits that I'd like to carry forward. If I'm with somebody that I have to be possessive over, or I don't trust, then I'm not supposed to be with them. So whatever energy or lust that brings me toward them has to be capped off at the understanding that your feelings are going to get you wrapped up in a situation that you're not wired for. And so because I have that wisdom in my heart, I didn't allow myself to let that really bleed into my friends, in my interactions with her. Not as much as otherwise I would have if I didn't have that in my mind. Now, granted, I was a bit manic, and I wasn't proud of that, and I've apologized to her for my manic energy. But all of it was positive. All of it was positive. It was just too much of it. And so, as we know on this channel, I need to get balance of mind. These therapy sessions are not just me saying, yo, I like doing content for the world. Like, I'd like doing content for the world, but this is actually about legitimately getting into my own mindset and helping myself through things like this that allowed me to not live the way that I need to live so I can have the balance that I'm also ultimately praying for. And so when you find somebody you really care about in this way, you want to give them all that they want from you and nothing that they don't. You want to take from them what's best from them. You don't want to force nothing else, especially when somebody's reserved but are respectful of your energy. So that's what I am. I don't run around in this situation telling you that I know her very well. I know who she was when I worked with her, and I know who that is in my phone. But as far as her day-to-day and all that, there's no reason for me to be jealous or possessive or wondering about or thinking I need answers to questions. Like, that's not what's going on here. And so for me to fall into that space, I understood was something else. And because of it, it was like, all right, I'm stressing over other things. That's all this is. It's me stressing over other things, and it's just rupturing me. It's triggering me. It's giving me some type of old longing energy that came from a different problem in a different relationship. Like, this is not the energy that should be going her way. Regardless of what the truth is in regards to her life, I don't have any, it's not supposed to pertain to me in the way that I'm taking it on. She's become somewhat of a drug for me in the morning. So I can hear that information, the little message she'll send me in the morning via DMs. I see that and feel like I'm stronger and feel like I'm loved, feel like I'm appreciated, feel like I'm wanted in this world, where I'm not getting that from anywhere else. So it's like, where is that? Where is that? Why did she take it away? And if so, what did I do? What did I do to make that happen? It just becomes a situation where that's not abnormal. She's disappeared like that before, never gave me any anxiety. It was like, oh, she disappeared. I should come back around a couple days, and she does. But this go round, I guess it was just how she was handling the situation. Who knows? But for whatever reason, I just took it differently. And because I took it differently, I didn't react well to it. And so, it helped me a lot going through that, because it made me want to become a better friend. It made me understand that not only did I feel I deserved this energy because I had done this to others in the past, as I mentioned in other therapy sessions, but I also came to understand that I no longer feel I deserve that. Even if I did that to other people, I never wanted to do that to anybody. I prayed a great deal about it. And I don't feel anymore that that's something I should be either doing to others or taking the brunt of because I've done to others in the past. It's just something I got to not do and leave it at that. But I'd like, nevertheless, to be in a space where consistency is in my life in regards to the people that I want to keep in my world. And that means that I got to find some normalcy in making more room for others in my life, because I can't demand it without making that happen. So it's just part of what I need to do to grow as a human on this earth. And it's just the insecurity issues on my own side of the fence that I really had to take a look at. Things that had nothing to do with conversations that we had, but things that I thought of myself, which would make it so that she would may want to walk away from me, may want to step away, may want to look in someone else's direction. Things that don't have to necessarily be true, but things that I write off as true based on the cultures and the life that we're living on this earth and how we interact with one another and prioritize certain things. So it's like those insecurities, that culture bled into how I was thinking of my friend. And I tell you the truth, I think that I made the mistake of not guarding my energy properly during that time. During a good portion of the time, things were kind of going left in my life. I wasn't necessarily doing what I was supposed to be doing to make sure that my energy was right. Messing with just porn, basically. Going on porn and allowing, lust to kind of make me feel better about the stress in my life. And when I started doing that, that's when I started sensing my friend backing away. Now, I don't know if there was any correlation, but I can tell you when your energy is off and you're dabbling in stuff that's not right for your spirit for whatever reason, there are going to be some trickle down effects. The devil's going to creep in. And that's what I've come to understand. Even for a minute, even for 5 minutes, I can't necessarily enjoy anything that's otherwise negative for my spirit, or I start seeing things fall apart, even if it's just my perception of what it is. I was having a conversation with my friend, another friend of mine, the one that I was telling you, my married buddy. And I had a conversation with her husband. She was having a conversation about how she was looking at what I was bringing to her in regards to the current situation. And, she just thought it was kind of fascinating how I was fighting myself, so to speak, in regards to, humbling my energy as it pertains to what I feel for her and what possibilities she may be doing without my understanding. And I think it was just like a foregone conclusion that, I'm supposed to want her to not do certain things. And because I feel that way, she's not supposed to do those things in my mind. It's like, no, I've elevated way past that. If I'm not willing to bring to the table what it is, then there's no reason for me to want her not to be able to feel that, whatever she feels in her life that I'm not feeling, if she would even want me to feel that in the first place. A lot of things, I think a lot of people walk around with the take mentality. Like, if I'm willing to give a relationship and you tell me you like me, therefore you're supposed to extend some loyalty to me or something. It's like certain conversations weren't had in a certain level of normalcy is not even in my world. So I can't come from that space to begin with anybody. Not while I'm living like this, but even more so, it's like what I want from my friend is just for whatever she wants for herself. I don't have a cage for her. I don't want to put her in that at all. I think that what I would like is for my emotions and feelings to get back into a space that would be comfortable for the friendship, so that I can be who I need to be while she's being who she is, and it not affect nothing negative. Because of what's meant for me is meant for me, then I don't need to have that type of fight. I don't need to be sitting back depressed about you walking away for 5 days or 3 days or whatever. You know what I mean? That's not healthy to begin with. So what I want to do is most definitely fight myself in regards to this, because I recognize it ain't good. It ain't attached to anything that is real. And when people really go through this, there's real, y'all done spent time together, y'all share a bed together. I ain't got none of that going on. So it's like, I'm very self-aware of my own mental state. And I'm very open with her. Both of them, they both know. Both of my friends know about my mental state. So it's no surprise at all when I spaz, so to speak, or when I fight myself to spaz from spazzing over stuff like this. I think that my intuition is to be trusted. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I have any entitlement to that intuition or the results of that intuition being, favorable or not favorable to whatever my opinion would be. She could be doing whatever she wants to do. She could be whatever or not. And it's perfectly her business, and I don't have a say-so about it. And I just want people to know that I'm aware of that. I want to keep that in mind when I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling, and I want to be able to have control over that as I go forward. Not only with her, but with whoever I deal with on any level. You know what I mean? Because that type of possessiveness, whether you attach to real things or not, is just a detriment to your own mind. If a person wants to be in your life, they'll be there. If they want to move on to somebody else, they'll be with somebody else. If they want to attach themselves to certain things that maybe don't vibe with you and it may pull you away from them, that's just what it's going to be. There's certain things that you just have to be able to live with, and that's just what it is in regards to people, you know. And so when you don't deal with a lot of people, you're not used to a lot of things. So that type of consistency, you want people to be like robots. Hey, you giving me this energy, give me this energy every day, sharp, 6 a.m. sharp. Like, it's just, no, nobody's perfect. One thing my friend B told me, like, nobody's perfect. That's what I had to remind myself. I'm used to doing things alone. I'm used to things being in my phone. So it's a lot of consistency. It's a lot of what you want it to be. You know, it's a lot of whatever you think it is in your head, and you just look at whatever it is in the phone, it could be that. You ain't really dealing with nothing. So it's like, that is what I've had to really, really sharpen myself to understand and be not only aware of in this era, but to be aware of the fact that I've done this many eras of my life, pulling myself away from people for long periods of time. It's just made it so why some of the things have happened in my life, or some of the things have appear to be as they are. Some of the people you would think are closer to me or closest to me will have pockets of the time where they ain't heard from me. And that's just what it is. And so because I'm like this, I've had friends who've had to maneuver around that in order to remain in friendships with me. And by way of their example applied to me, I've learned what to want in regards to the friendship here, where my friend doesn't necessarily give me all the information, or communication is the word, that would have settled my heart and mind. And I still got to be able to find peace with that, or walk away from the friendship. And it's like, I don't want to necessarily walk away from the friendship at all, even if this person is not perfect. Least of all because I've seen friends stay in my life when I did this very thing. And I wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't perfect. And so I'm still not going to be perfect going forward, but I definitely can show you that I appreciate them maneuvering around my mind and all of that as I perceive it. And maybe they were distant friends and I just didn't notice it. Maybe they disappeared on me and I didn't notice it. But the point is, it worked perfectly because they didn't give me no trouble about it. I didn't get no trouble about it, and we reconvened and it was fine. That patience applied to me has helped me understand that there's a way around the cultures of, you bet not lie to me about your business and what you're doing and with whom, because we've had conversations. It's like, nah, let's open our hearts and minds to say there are other ways to interact with people without just automatically becoming enemies or automatically deeming certain things as betrayals just because you didn't hear what you wanted to hear, or they weren't where you wanted them to be at a given moment. I think that we've learned in this society that that's what it is. You with me, therefore we're here, and this is what we're doing. But I've also understood that people have agreements in their relationships. People swing, people do all kinds of different things that don't necessarily stay in the confines of what makes us all feel like they're a part of some, culture that we all are part of. So for me, it's like, and I take those models, so to speak, those different applications of thought, and I apply them in a different way. It's like, I'm not trying to swing or nothing, but I got a friend there who may not necessarily be able to speak to me in ways that make me comfortable. I may not be able to have all from her that I would otherwise feel I want from everybody I've ever received it from. Maybe I'm used to a certain love. And see, that's another thing, a certain openness that came from the natural way my mother was. She was open. She was an open book. She was smiling. So when I was in a household with her, you start to think that all love is like that. And you start going out in the world and realizing it's not. That's how it was for me as a child. I was very confused because I wasn't used to people being standoffish in certain ways because my mother was so open. So when people would be a little standoffish or not, I wouldn't know what to do with that. And as I grew older, I still didn't know what to do with that. I think I'm starting to get to a point where I know what to do with that now. And that's what you're seeing. You know what I mean? I equate love a certain way. So if you tell me you love me, then it's going to be like, okay, well, I'm looking for this, and this, because that's what I'm used to. And you start to realize that you just need to get out more, because not everybody love work that way. And people cope with whatever their experiences are. But when you feel that love, it can bleed through those characteristics, and you will know that love is real, just because it's a spiritual or a emotional thing that comes about when you're in their presence. And that's what I come to understand about my friend there. The love I feel from her, it ain't necessarily anything other than a connection, but there's also certain things that are deeper than love, like being able to get along with people, communicate, being able to be in the same places, function the same way, or in different circumstances. Can you trust that they will handle them well? And all these different things just have not been vetted. We don't know each other that well. We just know that we like the energy we give one another, and that's about as far as it goes. And so that's like, I'd like to get to know this person better so that what we're doing can make sense. You know what I mean? So that this is not absolutely me just doing nothing, making something out of absolutely nothing. We have a friendship, but that friendship is based on small talks and different things that just are not as close as we would like to be. And that's what we've expressed to each other at times, over the years. When we did have conversations, they were deep enough for us to get this close, but we never actually find that communication consistency because of our personality traits. So that's what it is. That's what it is. One thing I appreciate is that she accepted me. She ain't, even when in all of this process, she's still been sending me good energy, positive energy. You wouldn't believe some of the things that she said in response to other things that I've said, which just helps me understand that she's managing my mind. She understands that I'm spazzing, and maybe I should take offense to that in some cases. But in this case, I definitely do not. If anything, I want to learn how to do that better with her, so that when she's silent or she walks away, she's having a day, whatever it is. If she wants to go out and have a date, whatever it is, it's not me thinking about me. It's me celebrating her. And that's what she gives me. When I tell her I'm doing something, celebrate it. Anytime I'm doing my art, celebrate it. Anytime, you know what I mean? It's that type of thing. It's never holding you accountable for why haven't you done this? Why your life ain't in order like this? She never does that. And so that's what was coming to me when I was feeling whatever I was feeling, like, where'd she go? All that stuff is like, brother, she don't do that to you. If she started doing that to you, you wouldn't probably like her as much. If she started holding you accountable for all the things that are flawed in your life, or started asking you about answering questions that maybe ain't gonna paint you out to be the greatest, and then judge you against that, it's like, don't psych yourself into thinking you have a right to do that when the other person ain't doing that to you. Don't psych yourself into thinking that you don't have a friend when you really made it up in your mind that you're answering a bunch of questions that ain't even really answered. I want people to understand that I wasn't certain my friend was lying to me. I was just using that as a variable that I was hanging my hat on in depression. She could have very well been where she said she was, with who she said she was with, but because I was going through what I was going through, I allowed my intuition to surmise that maybe she wasn't telling the truth. Now, I never came to any conclusion that would otherwise point in any direction. That's to take her word for it. And I don't remember her lying to me. So it's one of those situations like, I might have heard of her speaking of certain things, and I might have heard people say certain things in regards to her character, but unless she showed me those character traits, all they are is hearsay. And so at this point in time, it's like, all right, I gotta get rid of the hearsay, I gotta get rid of the emotions, I gotta get rid of the imagination, and I gotta bring God into the equation. And that's what I did. I've been praying a lot, asking him to give me breakaway energy. One of the things I had said was I was trying to have soul tie breaking energy, break soul ties, but I don't know if that's the right frame of words. Soul tie is something different. That implies that you've done things with that person that would otherwise mesh your body, and I'm not saying anything like that at all. That's not the case. So soul tie is just the wrong way of putting it, but to break away so that I don't have that tie that would otherwise send me into a sad space for any reason in regards to this person. And so that's what I've been praying more so about. It's just giving me the ability to kind of flow with what actually is, as opposed to what it is I'm dealing with in my head. And as she continues to extend patience with me, I'd like to evolve to a more mature space to apply patience to her and acceptance to what is and will not be, and to compartmentalize people in their proper position. If she's supposed to be my good friend for the rest of my life, then I don't need to put her in the possible girlfriend and wife category. But if she's supposed to be that, then I need to start doing things that I put myself in a position to start making myself a viable man to be in a life. And so that's where we're at, is trying to, first of all, figure out what I can do for myself. Forget trying to incorporate anyone into my life, but then to double back and say, okay, what's up with that friendship? Is that a friendship, or are we moving into some type of different direction that once my life takes whatever direction it's going to be outside of this apartment, I can see myself possibly building upon? So none of that's really clear to me right now. I definitely care about her a great deal, but I don't know her life. I don't know. And because she doesn't communicate well enough with me, it's not realistic, or wrong word. It's not, I guess realistic. I don't really know the word, but it's not really up there for me to be saying what she should be doing or isn't doing, or that I should have an opinion at all. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm trying to say. But all in all, I just want everybody to understand, I didn't think she was lying, or didn't know, never confirmed. If for some reason people were like, she was, I don't know. If you listen to that 2 or 3 therapy sessions ago, I don't know. Never did know. And apologize for questioning her telling the truth or not. You know what I mean? Because she did not at all prove herself to be a liar to me at any point in time. Given the fact that we've known each other for a long time, it wasn't nothing like that would otherwise prove her to be untrustworthy. So that's what I want to say, man. I just want to get better at treating people the way that I've been treated, in positive ways. People have been patient with me as I disappear for a year, 2 years. And then when it happens to me, it's like, you got to humble yourself to know you've done it to people your whole life. So even though it's not necessarily a punishment, it is something that can teach you how to work with others, because you've seen how others worked with you. So that's what it is, man. Hopefully I can help my friend open up. Hopefully I can also close up a little bit and reserve the energy that I need to reserve for myself. So that I can have that breakaway energy, so to speak, to recalibrate with my buddy and have something good to tell her when she get back, But I just want to tell everybody how much I appreciate everybody on this channel who pays attention to me and allows me to vent. I don't ask that you do anything other than take what you see here and apply it where you see fit, because that's really what it's about. Taking the experiences I have and sharing with others, and taking the feelings that I have and expressing them to show my humanity into this camera. So I've run out of time. We only got a minute left here. I didn't save enough recording, but I want people to know that going toward good energy will ultimately help your circumstances. When you get stressed, don't turn toward the negative stuff or toward the stuff that's not good, because that'll mess up other things in your life. And I think that's what it did to me. So yeah, that's what I got to say. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.